Hey everyone, this is Ashlyn Harris, and welcome back to Wide Open. So, I just got back from a family trip to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, which is where I went to college as a student athlete. And yeah, it was my first time back in so long. It was so fun. So, we were kicking off International Women's Day there, and we were just talking about the importance that Carolina played on developing me as a woman, not just a player, but what it gave me. And it was really cool to be able to thank the very people in that room that built me. So my coaches showed up. Some of my national team coaches from when I was 15, my goalkeeper coaches, current players, past academic advisors. It was really special, and my kids got to be there and watch it. And Sophia was there, and now we're all dripped out in Carolina merchandise. But it was really special to go back, tie a bow on it, and thank the people who believed in me from the beginning, who really gave me a chance. And I got to talk about the importance of character and resilience and grit and all the things I learned from my experience in college, and being able to leave as a three-time national champion was so much smaller than the knowledge I gained as a woman that would prepare me for the rest of my life. So it was a great week. I'm very lucky. The most surprising part about going back to campus, because we were walking it, and I was just thinking, like, I was such a bullish little Grom who charged this giant university from such a small beach town, mini public school. Like, it was just really crazy to me because I didn't understand the levity of how big of an institution it is, not just for academics, but sports and excellence. And going back to campus as a grown ass 40-year-old, I'm like, how did I do this at 18? Like, the balls it took to just walk onto that campus and be like, she's here. Should have been queer, but she's here. It was like so many things were going through my mind of like, who would I have been if I knew I was gay? Who would I have been if I really knew my identity? Like, how would I've moved in the world? Like, I was just seeing like women walking around holding hands, and like, it was just so different when I was there. That, like, gayness was not celebrated, and gosh, that was like 20 years ago. But it's really wild to put myself back into the 18-year-old version of me walking on that campus, not having a single clue of the magnitude of what I was walking into. I made sure to, when I was speaking to a lot of the athletes that are currently in school, I spoke to them about the lessons that I learned while I was there. And one of the greatest things that I walked away with was soccer wasn't who I was and wasn't my identity. And how that connects to everything is the single reason why I started this podcast, is because so much of our worth is tied into what we do, yet it isn't who we are. And it was important for me to let them know that while they're chasing greatness, and I want to be behind that and be a part of that, that they don't have to compromise who they are or give up the things they love in life, that for me at 18 felt like weakness. Like, I was on a mission to be the best, the greatest, play for the US national team and win world titles, that I was jaded. I didn't, do the things and try the things I wanted to do because I was a soccer player and that was it. That was the sentence. And I think there's just so much more to life, and I wish someone kind of shook me and was like, go take this class, go to this business school, be a part of this, try new things, like, be well-rounded, have an identity outside of sport. Like, I wish I could go back and open the blinders and see who I could have become if I took more risk. Yeah, so I went on the I've Had a podcast with Pumps and Jennifer Welsh, and our episode won a GLAD award. And how freaking cool is that? Like, the GLAD awards just were popping off last week in LA, and all of a sudden I kept getting like all these text messages from my agent, from friends in the audience. They were like, "Oh my God, your episode just won a GLAD award. Like, how freaking cool." And it just really shows the importance. Like, yeah, it wasn't my podcast, but showing up matters, and speaking things into existence and doing the work when nobody's fucking watching matters, and it saves lives. And it just feels really good to sit back and know, like, I'm working my ass off and I'm saying yes to everything, sometimes before I'm even ready. But it's just, there's so much on the other side of that that is really cool now to see that it's working, like it's paying off, and it's building this momentum in a landscape that's really hard for the queer community right now. And continuing to show up and fight back, really, it really matters. Yeah, so with that, everyone go check out that episode. I had Jennifer Welsh on Wide Open, and it was such a great episode. And she's such a huge advocate for the queer community and an ally. So make sure everyone goes back and watches that episode on Wide Open. And let's get into it. We're interviewing Caroline Marks today, the legend, the young legend, world champion, Olympic gold medal surfer, who I am so excited to talk to today, as I got to watch the first Red Bull premiere of her new film coming out here in the next month. So yeah, welcome Caroline Marks. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Wide Open. I'm your host, Ashlyn Harris, and today is a special one for me because my guest is someone who comes from the exact same place that built me, Melbourne Beach, Florida, a small stretch of coastline where the ocean just isn't a part of the landscape. It's a part of who you become. Caroline Marks grew up on the same sand, surfing the same waves before school, competing alongside her brothers, and building the kind of grit that only comes from growing up on the water. What started as a local kid chasing waves turned into something much bigger. Today, Caroline is an Olympic gold medalist, a world champion, and one of the most dominant surfers on the planet. But her story isn't just about winning. It's about family, perspective, resilience, and learning how to take care of yourself in a sport that demands everything from you. We talk about growing up in Melbourne Beach, her early love for barrel racing and horses, the influence of her brothers, and the challenges her family faced watching her leave at such an early age. I know the experience has shaped her as a competitor and who she is today. But we dive into what it felt like to win an Olympic gold medal. She was brave. She made the hardest decision she ever had to by stepping away and prioritizing her mental health. And how that decision might be the very important thing that extends her career. We also get into the new Red Bull film, Nowadays, where Caroline and her generation of women surfers are redefining what sport looks like in this new landscape. And of course, we talk about what's next, including the road to LA 2028, where she'll be competing on waves that we consider now as her local spot in California. Caroline is proof that small towns can produce world champions, and that strength isn't just built in the competition. It's built in the moments that test you. This is Caroline Marks, and this is Wide Open. Welcome, Caroline Marks, hometown homie from Melbourne Beach.
Hey, yo.
Let's go. I am so happy to have you on the show today, but I wanted, for those of you who don't know who Caroline is, she's an insane surfer. She has won the Olympics and the world title already. Yes, at the gentle age of 24. Lucky you. You have a whole entire career ahead of you to chase more championships, which I can't wait to be your hype woman. But tell me what it was like being raised in our small little cute town, quaint little town of Melbourne Beach.
Oh, I loved it. Melbourne's just simple living. Like there's like one Publix and like one grocery store. It was so simple. I'd go to school, I'd go serve, and I'd come home. Like that was just my routine every single day. But yeah, I loved growing up in Melbourne. It's such a cool little town. Like I'd always see like my school teachers, like my whole neighborhood was in the water, just like everyone knew everyone. And I love that. I love like the wholesome small town vibes. Now living in California, it kind of feels like the Uptown Express compared to Florida. So
It's so
um,
different. So
it's so
different.
different. And I love them both for their own reasons. But definitely now when I go back to Melbourne, it like holds a special place in my heart. Just so many like core like nostalgic memories growing up there.
I love that. And meeting your parents was it was so special. They're so humble and sweet and genuine. And I will be on the next holiday card, don't you worry. I've already invited myself for dinner. But your like house was the spot. You grew up, there were six of you little monsters ripping around on that little
Oh yeah.
small coast of a beach this big. But, you said that, like, your house was the spot, you'd have slip and slides, and, like, everyone was there, and you were just always ripping and surfing with your brother. Like, tell me about your family and how much they've influenced your career as a whole.
Yeah, the Marks family was definitely like the gathering house. Like coming home, there'd always be like more people at the house, like even if they weren't a part of the family, just like friends, neighbors, like whatever. It's just like we're going to the Marks house. Like people would just come over uninvited, which I love that. Like I love the big family vibe, like a lot of people. And yeah, we'd rent like a water slide. My parents would rent like a water slide every weekend, and that was a lot of fun. We'd like put baby oil on it and like go see who can go
Love
down the
this.
fastest.
I love
uh,
this.
it was a good time. But yeah, one of six, grew up riding horses. My brothers rode dirt bikes. We had like a little dirt bike track in our backyard, and that was like my version of riding a dirt bike was riding a horse. I'd ride in Fellsmere, and then slowly after that, I kind of was just like, oh, my brothers they think like surfing's cool, and I gotta like do what they think is cool in order for them to think I'm cool. And that's like where the whole surfing journey started. But yeah, I started off on a horse and just loved animals. I wanted to be a veterinarian, so
I
it's
love
funny
that.
how things have changed.
Well, it's so true, right? So I had an older brother too, and it was so pivotal and so important to who I became later in life because I wanted to charge everything my brother did. So if my brother was in the water surfing, I was in the water and I was surfing. If he was skating, like I was with him skating. He played baseball and I was like, I want to play baseball. So I did everything. But the important part is when you have an older brother, is like you don't want to get picked last, right? You don't want to embarrass them. You don't want them to be like, oh, you're too annoying. Like, oh, you can't keep up. You can't, mom, go have her play with the girls. I don't know. She can't play with us. But like, I was such an asset because I worked my ass off because I wanted to be around my brother. And for me to be around my brother, I had to be good enough. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
curious if that drove you as well. Like, surfing is a really interesting sport where, yeah, you could do party waves, but really for you to do what you want to do, one person gets that wave. And
Oh yeah.
it's stressful. You better be good enough. Don't take away from the lineup, the other people wanting to drop in. Like you can't be a kook. It's so possessive. Certain people's breaks are like you don't want to mess around with locals. So what was that like with your brothers and your competitive spirit, your competitive fire and your grit? Like I imagine that's what helped you in competition is like if I could survive the all of these kids, coming at me left and right. I have all these siblings. Jesus, I could do this.
Oh yeah, like definitely growing up with a lot of brothers, as you know, it's I have very thick skin, which definitely helped me competing, especially like my first couple years on tour, you kind of like get more attention, like people want to like comment Instagram stuff that you might not want to hear. And I was just like not that phased because I was like, I've heard everything from my brothers and I am not worried about some random person saying something. But yeah, definitely like had that fire of just wanting to be better than them and just like wanting to be good enough, just kind of like wanting them to accept me and um it was really hard to kind of get their credit of things. Like I had to do something really special for them to be like, that was a good turn. And I'm like, all right. So it really, really pushed me. And I'm grateful for it now because like in the moment I was like, you guys are so mean, whatever. But now I'm like, oh, you guys made me into like such a savage competitor. And I'm grateful for it now.
Well, yeah, like as you know, I say this all the time, like, because you've met Sophia and she's such a theater baby, like through and through. My
Oh, yeah.
queen is a theater baby. And I'm just like, I grew up in a locker room, right? So I keep the door open. I
Yeah.
change in front of people. Like personal
Oh, yeah.
space. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
But but also it's like you got to
That's
take
funny.
care of your shit, right? Cuz you had all these roommates and like you had your locker and like you don't leave your shit out. I don't want to see your shit all over the locker room or on the floor. Like take care of our space, but you learn that in your house. And it is important because your sport is just you and mother nature. That's it. So I imagine there's so much in a team and that collective that helped you so much when you were out in that water alone. Because I tell you what, every time I'm out there surfing and I have to dangle my feet in the water, I'm like, I don't know what's under. Every time something touched me, I was like a cat. Literally, I could fall off my board and get back on it faster than anyone on this planet. And I was like a rat. Like my hair was in my face, my top was probably to the side, but I tell you what, I was in that water minimal seconds cuz we know in Florida, we are the shark capital of the world. They're
Oh,
they're all under me and
they're
beside
everywhere.
me and I'm just like, it's a really like a mind fuck out there alone. I can
Yeah.
imagine like you had to have some like smart stuff going on up here not to be like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. Like, I think growing up in a big family, like, it was never really about me. Like, it kind of always kept me grounded and humble. And, like I was saying before, like, I go home and, like, I'm still like doing the dishes and doing laundry. Like, it's never like, oh, Caroline's home. Like, let's make it like, no, it's just like, I'm just another sibling. And I'm really thankful for that because the ocean is the great equalizer. It's very humbling. Like
Mm.
there could be sharks out there. You can be the best surfer in the world, and a wave doesn't come and you lose to someone. Like it's just anything can happen. And I feel like being raised how I was, combined it with my brothers being, a lot of constructive criticism and making me like a savage and have thick skin. Like that combination, I think really helped me in the water. And I didn't realize that when I was younger, but now looking back, I'm like, oh, like how you were raised is so important of how you
Oh.
are, in the world later on. So, I'm really grateful for my family because like they definitely shaped me to be the person I am today. And yeah, I'm super thankful for that. But I do understand the sharks. It is pretty scary. Like no matter what, like I am
Oh.
fearless with that, but like it's scary. Like, it's at the end of the day, like we're in their environment. So like it's yeah.
And I imagine that's why you loved riding horses. Like, I like at someone who just started riding a horse a year ago, I got on that thing and like they were telling me all these demands and things to say to it. And like they were like, kick it here. And I'm like, I'm not kicking this
Yeah.
fucking thing at all. You're
There's a
nuts.
lot going on.
That thing is gonna flip me off. And then it kept like trying to eat, and I was almost flying over its head. And I was like, well, this is really I'm not in control here. This thing is in control. I'm gonna hope for the best, and hopefully it doesn't kick me off, or I just didn't say anything and I just gave it I was like, I'm just giving up responsibility here. Let's hope for the best. But it is
Oh
really
yeah,
something interesting, the parallel of riding the board in the water alone and riding a horse, like growing up and being raised like in that type of environment. They're very similar when you compare them.
for sure. Yeah, like just the not being able to control it aspect. Like you said, you're on an animal. Like you can't control it. You can kick it. You can, but at the end of the day, like it's gonna do what it,
Do
it
it.
wants. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the same thing at the ocean. You can prepare the hardest and do all the right things and ride the right board and have a perfect plan with your coach, but the ocean's going to do what it wants. And you just have to be really good at going with the flow. And I feel like a lot of surfers are very good at going with the flow because we just like have no choice. that's also good in life too, because a lot of things in life are out of your control. So I feel like surfing's like it's been great because it's taught me a lot of life lessons. It's also
Mm,
given me some of my best friends from traveling around the world. It's showed me places around the world to be like, wow, I'm very lucky to live where I do. Like things
yeah.
like that has been awesome. So there are a lot more parallels in surfing and horseback riding than like I was like I didn't like never thought of it like that, but I'm like that's so true. Like it was pretty easy transition in that sense because you are riding something and a lot of things are out of your control. So those two things are very similar.
I respect so much of what you do, and watching, I know later in the show we'll talk about the new film that's coming out nowadays, but seeing you guys surf Tahiti and seeing, so there was a picture of you that was supposed to, it was a surprise, clearly. You didn't know that it was taken. When I tell you how thick this wave was and the barrel you were in, like what people don't know is like you have to train to like hold yourself underwater for minutes at a time because it's like being in the inside of a washing machine. Like if you don't get something right, it is very dangerous. And that
Oh
is
yeah.
one thing like people don't understand the magnitude of like you're chasing that kind of extreme. At the beginning of the show, I was asked a question about like who's an athlete we should really keep our eye on. And I said, and I'm not surprised by this. I said Lindsey Vaughn, who's also a Red Bull athlete. What's so interesting about you guys who live the brand and live this experience is you are not living on the edge. You are the edge. You are pushing boundaries and things that were never expected of you. And that is literally the epitome of what a Red Bull athlete is. And I don't think people understand the magnitude of surfing when you're putting yourself on waves that look like that have the potential to really crush you, hold you under. You're in pipeline is like 3 feet deep on a good day,
Yeah.
on a good day with
Yeah.
like coral reef popping out. Like, do you understand like what people when they watch you make it look so pretty and y'all are just doing things and we're like, oh my God, this is no, no, no. Like you are living the edge. And on the other side of that is this type of progression you're pushing for, the type of progression that we're all dying to see that we didn't think was capable, and you're living it. How fucking cool is that? Like, I'm so envious. I want to be in your body. I want to live your life because, you know, it took, think about Blue Crush, right? So it took, Blue Crush was a Hollywood movie based on an action film of surfers. They were, you know, green screens and shit was terrible back in the day. They were actually having men surf and then just like throwing women's faces on
Yeah.
pipeline. And the whole premise of Blue Crush was women ripping at pipeline and how dangerous it was. Well, fast forward, that just became a reality a few years ago. That movie took 20 years to actually happen, and you're living that. And that is special. And that is the importance of these type of films and the importance of you charging what you charge every day to show what's possible. Because now all those little girls at this premiere watching you rip fucking Tahiti and pipeline and all these things and these, no one should be surfing these waves, let alone women. Like you're doing that and you're showing what is possible. You're giving permission to for other people to chase that edge.
100%.
That's my rant.
And that
That's my rant, girl. You're living a moment. Yeah.
absolutely. And that's like part of the reason why the film is called like nowadays, because we're like, this is what's happening like now.
Hmm.
And like I said before, like my timing was just good. Like I got on the tour, second year was equal pay, women are surfing pipeline, like surfing's in the Olympics. I know, golf clap for equal pay. That's so cool. We love that.
I fought many, many years in court for that, for US
Oh,
soccer. So I understand the importance of that.
yeah. And like we just have to thank all of our generations before us for like paving that way for us because all the girls in the generation now that are in this film, like we just had great timing. And that wouldn't have been possible if the women before us didn't fight for that. And I think now it is our responsibility to like make the next generation's future even brighter than it was
Mhm.
for us. You know, put strive for more, like push for more progression and do things on boards that they didn't think was possible. Because if they see us do it, they're gonna like be like, oh, that's possible. How can I be better than that? That's just like
Mhm.
naturally how things work. So the film is really cool because it really highlights like it is a surf film, but it also tells a story, which is really cool. Um, and yeah, seeing like some of the young girls like just be like, oh my gosh, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like seeing that on their faces, it makes the whole like hours of, putting work into this film and years of working on this film. It makes it all worth it. So it's really cool.
I love that. Tell me about the Olympic gold medal you won and the impact that had for you, because what's so unique in surfing is it is an individual sport and you're not like representing your team and your country all the time. You're representing yourself and you're touring all over the world. And, for surfing in the Olympics, it's so new. And how cool is it? You talk about the importance of being somewhere at the right time. Like you were at the right time and you capitalized off of it and you won Olympic gold in Paris, Tahiti. Tell me about how that changed everything for you. And did you understand the magnitude of which you were living in that moment?
And no, I don't think I like fully understood it. Like that emoji that's just like mind blown. Like that was literally me in that moment. I was just like, oh my gosh. And you know how it is, like it's like years and years and years of that moment because that moment really is it's quick. It's like,
Hmm.
but since I was like, 12 years old up until that moment, like that all that was like working into that moment. Yeah, it's hard to like articulate the words and how that felt. Um, but first off, I was just really proud of surfing being in the Olympics. Like I believe we deserve that recognition, which is really cool. We're getting that.
Hmm.
And like I think the best part was just like having my family there and what makes our journey so special is sharing it with people you love. So the first Olympics in Tokyo, was during a pandemic, so
Yeah.
like couldn't have any family and friends there. So to have I also got fourth at that Olympics, so that was like a really tough pill to swallow because that's like one spot. Some people say it's like probably the hardest place to finish in, because you are so close to medaling, but you like don't quite get there. So winning in Paris and having my family there, like it just made that moment so much sweeter. And yeah, getting the medal and then singing the national anthem, I was just like started bawling. Like I'm pretty emotional, like
Yeah.
I just was like, oh my goodness, this is the craziest like moment ever. But yeah, definitely the proudest moment of my career and something I'll never forget. I had like a proper month of like, oh my gosh, I can believe that happened, but I like can't believe that happened. You know what I mean? Like I believed in myself that I can get there because like you can't not believe in yourself to get there. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
like I also was like, oh my gosh, it happened. Like and it brought me like not everyone knows about surfing, but everyone knows about the Olympics.
Yep.
And so like I feel like the attention I got from the Olympic medal is something that I've never experienced. And I was like, whoa, this is pretty crazy. I'm still just like the same girl that grew up in Florida that like had a bunch of brothers and like, I have the same friends and like I still get happy, I still get sad, whatever. Like I'm still the same person, but it definitely brought a different level of attention to me that I've never experienced before, which is pretty cool. But I'm glad you mentioned that because in surfing, like everything is so young. I mean, as an athlete, like everything's young. Like you almost have like a reverse career. Like you start when you're young and you finish when you're young, like most people. But getting on at 15, like I'm going to my eighth year on tour, like people are like calling me a veteran when I was like 20. And I was like, wait, like, what do you mean? Like I'm just getting started,
Yeah.
And so like it used to piss me off. And I'd be like, can everyone just like stop calling me old on the tour? Like I'm literally 20, But I've learned to take it as a compliment, like it's cool because you're experienced and it's true. I did get on very young, but I almost qualified like in my own generation. Like I wasn't quite in the generation of Carissa and Tyler Wright and Lakey and all these girls, but Molly and Katie, like they're more my generation, but like we qualified at very different times, so it almost feels like I was in my own little generation. So I
Yeah.
see where people say that, but um I don't know. I'm really proud of my journey, and I'm just like whatever people want to say, like whatever, because I'm proud of it. Veteran, young, buck, whatever it is. I'm
Yeah,
like
but
whatever.
also the thing I respect so much about you is like, all this success is going on. And one thing is really important, and I want to touch on this because there are a lot of people who listen, there are a lot of athletes who listen, and it's very easy as an athlete to abandon yourself. You just move, move, move. Everything is moving so quickly. You've got to do this and you got to get points and you got to get on the tour and you got to, it
Yeah, there's always
never,
like a date.
yeah, it
Yeah.
never stops. You're always
Hmm.
like, brrr, right? But one thing I
Oh
really
yeah,
respect about you is you took time away for yourself, for your own mental health, for your own um like self. You needed that for yourself, and it's important to say this because you talk about longevity. You talk about the Kelly Slaters of the world who are winning titles in their 40s. It's because they prioritize themselves and they don't abandon it. And it's not that I want you to talk about all the different things, but I have to talk about the importance of really knowing yourself enough and being brave enough to say, I got to put a pause here. I have boundaries. And I don't think athletes do that because they think that's failure.
for sure.
And
And yeah, as you know, as like an athlete, like you're kind of looked at as like you think like when you're vulnerable, it can be like such a weakness. And as an athlete, like weaknesses is like it's no, like I'm hard, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna beat you, like it's this tough thing. And that's kind of what I thought too. Like it was really scary to take time away because all I've ever known is surfing and being
yep.
on the tour. And I literally grew up on the tour. And so to take that step away was like super scary. And there was moments where I thought like, oh, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get back to that like frothing Grom that I once was, that just wants to surf. Because that's what got me here to this point of getting on the tour and being successful at a young age. I definitely really leaned on my family and my support
Mm-hmm.
crew at that time, and I'm really thankful because I got such a great one. I call them my feel good people.
Yes.
And I was just kind of going like, what do I do? I knew I just didn't feel like myself. I knew I wasn't having that much fun. We talked about before of having an even killed mindset. I was so hard on myself. Like
Mm,
the highs were high, the lows were low. I think that is the one thing about, having success so early on. Like I all of a sudden put this crazy amount of like unrealistic pressure on myself of like, oh, if I don't get better than this, then I'm a complete failure, which is like
mm-hmm.
so crazy. But I know a lot of people can relate to that, or a lot of athletes. As hard as it was, like I'm so grateful that happened because it made me have a whole new perspective on life. And the best things in my career happened after. Like I took time off and won the world title the next year and the gold medal. Like it's crazy to look back on because in the moment, like if you told me that was going to happen, I'd be like, no way, you're so down in the dumps. But yeah, I think it really helped me in my career. And I kept reminding myself, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Like you're so young. Like just what's 1 year when you have your whole life and career ahead of you?
Yep.
Like this could save you. And looking back, it really did.
And it's really interesting you say that. And at the top of the show, I spoke about this, but I went back to where I went to school at the University of North Carolina and I gave a keynote speech. And the whole point of the speech is you are so much more than what you do. And the whole
Yeah,
premise of this podcast, Wide Open, is who you are, you know, before the titles and before the success. Like everyone has lived journey to get them where they are. And
absolutely.
with that, like I had to express to these young kids that your identity is not wrapped up in national championships or the highlight reels or all these things you think at such an early age. And you were a kid. So, taking
Yeah.
that time away, what did it teach you about yourself, first and foremost?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like I am a human with feel like I still put on my shoes the same way as everyone and like, like I get happy, I get sad, like, I miss my family when I'm gone. Like I'm totally a normal person. I just obviously live a very unique life, but I just feel like I always told myself like if I wasn't having fun and I wasn't like enjoying it, then like what's the point? And I
Mm-hmm.
really got to that point where I was just like, like my parents always taught me like do what you love, and go hard at it. And I wasn't really like enjoying where I was at. And that's like also like okay, it's not always going to be perfect and amazing. I'm sure you had times in your career where you're like dreading it sometimes. You're
Yeah.
like, "Oh man, I'm tired," or "I miss my family," or whatever. Um but yeah, I think it just taught me like vulnerability is very powerful and it's okay not to be okay sometimes, and it's also okay to work on yourself. Like you don't have to be this like perfect image person all the time. Like it's totally okay to like be like, "Hey, I need a minute," and say no because I'm a people pleaser. It's my
Yeah.
personality, and it's a great quality, but it also leaves you drained sometimes. So I think learning how to say no and being like, "I need time for me." That's really what it taught me.
I love that. And I appreciate that vulnerability and I appreciate you sharing that because women are taught at a very early age to serve other people. That is our job. Like we are taught very early to care for other things. We're given a doll before we can even say the damn word, and we're brushing its hair and we're changing its clothes. And it's just enough, enough. Because I have to put my life mask on first before I put anyone else's on. And I think it's a really brave thing to do to just say, like, it needs to be about me right now. If I want to be the version I know I'm capable of being, I have to take a step back. And a lot of women abandon themselves when they feel that and they just keep plugging on. And there's just so much value, and I appreciate you talking about it and having the bravery and courage to just say, no, not today. I'm gonna take care of myself. And look what happened. Like, look what has
Yeah,
happened. It shows that, like, I'm gonna fill my cup up first.
for sure.
And then when I can fill my cup up, I'm a great person. I'm a great daughter. I'm a great sister. I'm a great partner. And it affects and bleeds into everything you're doing.
Exact. And like, you know how like when your personal life or your own mental health is out of whack, like everything else is going to be out of whack.
Of
Like,
course.
how, you know what I mean? And like that's something I've really learned is like, when things at home or like I'm not feeling good, like it's so hard to feel good in the water and performing. And sometimes you have to like mask it, but it's like I was at a point where I was like, I really need to take time for me. And um yeah, it's crazy. Look what's happened for
Yeah.
sure. I'm like, whoa, I'm glad
Well,
I did that for sure.
I'm happy you did too. And after all of this success, and I just was lucky enough, for everyone listening. I was lucky enough to be a part of this new film nowadays that Red Bull put together. But you asked and you pushed, and you were the one who said, "I want to do this." But most importantly, I want to bring everyone along with me and it not just be about myself. And I said this to you and I mean it. You are a very, very special human at your age to understand there is plenty of room for other women at this table. I am not going to be the ones standing on their necks. Like, I want to stand on the shoulders of all the women who've come before me, who have given me access, and I have the freedom to compete at this level. And you brought all these other young athletes along with you. This film took 2.5 years. And I want you to talk about it because it is your baby. And you pushed for it. And this hasn't happened since, and I would say ever, as a collective unit surf video film that really incorporates some of the youngest, most talented surfers this world has ever seen. And you brought your fiercest competitors and you were like, let's go and do this together. That is fucking rad. And it takes a special human not to be like, no, 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 I've worked my ass off to get here. This is going to be about me. Like, most women do that.
For sure. And like, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I definitely like did struggle. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I definitely had moments where I was like, well, I could make this about myself and I know it'll be cool and I have worked my butt off, but like I just feel like you said before, like the generations before us, like really paved the way. Like surfing now, it's in the Olympics. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
getting equal pay for both men and women. Like,
Mm-hmm.
are you kidding me? Like it's been my absolute yes.
That's about
So
fucking
sick,
time.
right?
Damn.
And I mean, I just feel like my timing's been really good. Like I got on tour, my second year on tour, it's equal pay. Like then then they announced the Olympics. Like my timing's just been really good. Like I didn't do any of that. Those were the generations before me, and
Mm-hmm.
they paved that way for us. And I feel like it's our responsibility in this generation to just keep building the sport. And if I can like walk away and say that I worked as absolutely as hard as I could, I accomplished things I wanted to, and I paved the way for the next generation, like I'm so proud of that.
Mm.
And I just feel like at some point, like you said, women stepping on each other's necks, especially in an individual sport. Like it comes with the territory. It's so cutthroat. It's gnarly. You don't have any friends. There's lonely at the top. But I was kind of like, someone's got to do it. And I feel like I was at a point in my career where I feel like I've gotten a lot more secure in myself. Like I
Mm.
think a few years ago, like growing up when you're younger, you're just like, you don't even want to look at anyone. You're just like, I want to win. I don't want to talk to anyone. I want to give anyone an inch. And I've learned, like, you know what? There is room for other people at the top, and I also can still win. Like, there's room
Yeah.
at the top. And yeah, it took me a minute to get there, but now that the film's done and I see how it like impacted a lot of young girls, we've premiered it twice, like you said, in New York and Hollywood. I can't wait for the world to see it. But just seeing all the little girls it's impacted already that came to the premieres has just been the coolest thing ever, and it made it all worth it. And obviously having Red Bull behind it, like planning everything, like
Mm.
because surfing's so interesting. Like you're going all around the world, and like it's very unstructured. You don't know if you're gonna get waves or not, and everyone's got a crazy schedule. Um, yeah, I'm really proud of it. And as I was doing the film, I like that's when I won the world title and the gold medal, and it's crazy how it all happened. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it all happened the way it was supposed to, and um, it's been really fun. It's been a lot of work, but it's been really fun.
I love that. Well, for those of the people tuning in and listening, can you tell them what Nowadays is about and who's in it, and when it is premiering for everyone to see? Because it's a must. Like it's awesome. Like I loved every part of that film. But yeah, talk about the athletes in it. Talk about when it premieres so everyone can go check it out.
Yeah, so Nowadays is a surf film of all the best female surfers in this generation. Red Bull got behind this film. It just so happened to be like all the best girls are on Red Bull, which is really cool.
Of course.
Um,
Of course they are.
yeah.
Again, I'm not
Uh,
wearing the hat.
no,
Caviar
come on.
connoisseur, biggest hype woman for Red Bull athletes. Like it's
I
different.
love that. No, come on. But yeah, everyone in the film is 24 or younger. Three of us have already been in the Olympics, but six of us are all Olympic hopefuls. We got Caitlin Simmers, who's from the USA, myself from the USA, Molly Picklum from Australia, Sky Brown from the UK, and Aaron Brooks from Canada. So it's a very diverse group. Four of us are all competing against each other on the world tour as well.
Crazy.
So we're all each other's like biggest rival. Like for example, like the first I won the world title the first year. The second year, Katie won the world title. The third year, Molly won the world title. So like we all are just like at each other's necks. Yeah, like full on like it's pretty funny. So for a film to happen in a cutthroat sport like this, with all of us like I mean, we're all still going into the peak of our career. Like we're all under 25. Like we still like have so much more
So
to
much.
accomplish. It's very, very rare and it's never been done before. It also tells a story of women pushing women, and I love that.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. And it's obviously a lot of surfing. It is a surf film, but it also does tell a story. And it premieres May 1st on all the Red Bull channels. So I'm really excited about it. I hope everyone loves it. Yeah, it turned out amazing. Better than I ever expected. So all the traveling and the boat rides and getting nauseous and in Indo, whatever,
You
it's
guys
all worth
went,
it.
y'all went everywhere. Where didn't you go?
Everywhere. Yeah, literally. And like that's the funny thing, like surfing will bring you in like the craziest places ever. Sometimes you're in Fiji and it's like, it's very lush and beautiful, and then sometimes you're in a country that you're like sleeping on a board back. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just how it is.
It's
So yeah,
you're chasing Mother Nature. Like how freaking
exactly.
cool is that? Like
Yeah,
and
totally.
you know what else you're chasing? LA 2028,
Hey,
baby. Right around the
period.
corner. Right around the corner. Like what are you
Yeah.
clearly the obvious. It's at home. And this is like I mean, I know it's not your home break, but it's your home break. What does that feel like? We're in 2026. Time moves. It's going to be here
Oh
before
yeah.
you know it, not giving you any stress, but like how stoked are you right now to have this? You know, cuz you weren't in Paris. Hello, for everyone who doesn't know, no one's surfing in Paris. You guys were in Tahiti. So you didn't get that feel, right? So like the Olympic Village and every brand has these houses that are like popped up. I mean, it's manic, wild, like Truman Show, like village. It's so cool. And you're going to get to experience that finally, like at the same place. Like, are you so excited? I would be
Oh my
freaking
gosh.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been a lot of hype up. Like even with the Winter Olympics just happening, like there's been a lot of talk about it. I've already done a couple shoots for it. I'm like, whoa, it's like a couple years out. Like
Yeah.
people are excited about it. In surfing, like you said, it was in Tahiti this year, which was a great time zone for America, which was really cool. It got so much attention, which was pretty awesome. And I feel like that's what our sport deserves is that recognition. So I'm really proud about that. Oh my God. The fact that I can like sleep in my own bed and go compete for a
It's
medal is like so
crazy.
baffling. It's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
And now that I've been to the Olymp, I like when I first qualified, I was so oblivious to how amazing it was. Like I didn't realize the magnitude that the Olympics had on the world. It's one of the only
Mhm.
things that brings the whole world together. And
Yes.
like a lot of people might not know about surfing, but they know about the Olympics. And so yeah, it's pretty incredible. I'm really excited. Like I don't know, it's pretty mind blowing. Like I was literally surfing this morning at the venue they're gonna have it at, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. And it's funny, it's such a full circle moment because that's like at that wave, lower trestles, that's like where I knew I wanted to be a pro surfer. Like I competed at a amateur
Wow.
event and I ended up winning, and I was like, this is so fun. Like I just want to keep doing this. I got a big trophy and I surfed all day with my friends. Like, are you kidding me? So yeah, I'm
Oh,
excited.
I love this for you. I'm going to be there. Clearly, you know, a part
Absolutely.
of the family on the holiday card. Hello. But I cannot wait to watch you. This is going to be so fun. Like the excitement I feel for all of you because I've been there and I know you have been there, but this is going to be a completely different experience. Um, and you're going to have the wisdom and you've gone through the expectation and like I'm so excited for you. This is going to be such a cool moment. Your whole family is going to be there. Like the people who, you know, sacrifice the most from the beginning to be able to have that full circle moment at such a young age in your prime, no matter what. It's really not about winning and losing, even though we're winners at our core and we always want to win. But like to have your family there to experience that type of magnitude with you on like your home like grounds and in the water is really
Oh.
magical. And it's not
Oh, it's
small.
amazing.
Yeah.
Totally. It's huge. And like I'm never gonna be able to give back my parents and my siblings like ever, like for what they've sacrificed in order to get me where I'm at. But I feel like experiences like that, like, looking them in the eye after like moments like that, or winning the medal in Tahiti, I'm like, all right, like it's all worth it,
Yeah.
like it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm super excited. It's good stuff.
I know, I'm excited for you, but I always ask this, and this is the last question. I'm going to wrap everything up. And I love asking athletes this because you are so much bigger than your sport and what you do. But who are you and what are you doing when you're not competing?
Oh, I'm pretty simple. Like, I love to like, I love like looking at the sunset and like, hanging out with my friends, like
Mm-hmm.
just watching a good show. Like, I'm a really simple, I feel like I'm a really simple girl, even though I live a very crazy life.
Yep.
Um, And yeah, I love hanging out with my family. I'm a people person. Like I love my
Yeah.
people. So like hanging out with my people when I'm not surfing and competing, like filling my cup in other areas, that's what I want to
Hmm.
be doing.
I love that for you. Well, thank you so much for being on this episode, Caroline. I know you don't need this, but I'm behind you and wishing you the best of luck. Not only for the clearly the LA 28, but also just like you're on, tour. You guys are chasing championships all over the place, and I root for you. And I got to be honest, I root for you because of how you show up. Like everyone knows you're fucking dancing on water and you're an incredible athlete and you're powerful and you're so enjoyable to watch. And y'all are doing shit I during my era, I'm like, women did not do this. Women were not doing backflips on a damn surfboard. It didn't happen.
Yeah,
If you
crazy.
if you were like accidentally got a few fins, out of the water, you were like, oh, she just threw an arrow. Look at that. It was like all about timing. It was like actually just breaking and perfect
You hit
timing.
like a backwash?
Yeah,
No.
exactly. But like you guys are pushing like so hard and creating such a different landscape for this new generation. I say this like fully with my chest as someone now who is getting back into surfing and skating. It is going to be the most watched thing is surf and skate, and it will be women. I am telling you that right
I
now.
love that.
It's the biggest up and coming thing because women are doing shit that took like Tony Hawk
And we
did.
look good doing
Yeah,
it. It's
exactly.
like, you know what I mean?
Like 13-year-olds are throwing like 900s in their sleep. And Tony Hawk was like, yeah,
Crazy.
I did that at like 30. I'm like, she's 13. So it's just y'all are ripping and setting a new standard that I'm like, good luck to y'all young people. Like, I don't know. You saw me out there on that foam board. I was like, it's
Hey, she was killing it. She was killing it. She's selling her, she's humble, but she was killing it.
I I I
She's an
will
athlete.
I will wrap it up to say this. At the premiere, I was like, "Hi, my name's Ashlyn Harris. I went to the surf ranch and I got wave of the day. That is on
Yes,
my
she did.
resume. I need my own hat. I don't need Red Bull. I need surf ranch wave of the day because that is all I want to be known for." But I'm kidding. I had the best
I
time.
love that.
I literally had the best
We had
time
fun.
we had so much fun at the surf ranch, and I will be supporting you for everything. If you ever need anything, I'm in your corner. And good luck. This is so fun. It's so fun to see your joy and your light and your spark. You still got it. And just, dude, ride it till the wheels fall off. I want to see you winning championships at 41.
Thank you. I will definitely try my hardest. I can promise you that.
Well, everyone, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you, Caroline. And we'll see you next week on Wide Open with Ashlyn Harris. Caroline, this conversation means so much to me, not just because everything you've accomplished, but because we came from the same place. Melbourne Beach has a way of shaping people who aren't afraid of hard work, who understand humility, who know how to get back up after getting knocked down. Watching someone from our hometown go on to win the Olympics and win a gold, becoming one of the best surfers in the world is something really, really special. But what I respect most about you is the way you've navigated the highs and the challenges, choosing growth, choosing perspective, and choosing to take care of yourself along the way. I have no doubt we're going to see a lot more incredible moments from you, especially as we head towards LA 2028. Thank you all for coming to another episode of Wide Open, and we'll see you next week.